Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, citizens of YouTube. This is Brother Greg. And the purpose of this video is centered around listening to a wise man, listening to a man of Yah, receiving wise counsel. I've been working in the chemical refining industry for about 9 years. And right now, my company and many other companies in the Southeast region have declared strike since the Roman Sunday night. So we're on strike right now. We have a work stoppage going on at this moment. And there's no telling how long this strike is going to last. We're on strike for a lot of reasons. About overtime, union staffing levels, dangerous conditions in the industry continuing, and they're ignoring it. Daily occurrences of fires, emissions, leaks, explosions that threaten the local community that they're ignoring. The industry's refusal to make more opportunities for workers in the trade crafts. The flagrant contracting out that it impacts the health and safety on the job, and the list goes on. There's many reasons why we're on this strike. There's about 5,000 workers in the Houston area that are in the refineries and so on and so forth, and about 30,000 workers in the refineries, pipelines, oil terminals, and petrochemical plants across the country. So what does this got to do with listening to a wise man? Well, about a year or so ago, this wise man told us that these companies, these rich and greedy companies, are going to try their best to get rid of the union. And for those who don't understand the union pretty much holds the companies accountable for giving out fair wages, benefits, and so on. So they hold them accountable. They hold them to the fire. And every so often, I think every 3 years with my company, I know, or actually every 3 years with all the union backed companies for the hourly worker, about every 3 years they go through contract negotiations, contracting negotiations with involving the raises, benefits, and so on, of course. Excuse me. So now we're at this contract, and the union versus the company are butting heads. There is no agreement yet, not a mutual satisfactory agreement yet. But although us union workers went ahead and activated this strike, the company, I'm sure, has activated their contingency plan for this strike. In saying that, we don't know how long this strike's going to last. We don't know. It could be weeks, it could be months, it can be a year or more. So what does it got to do with listening to a wise man? And even after this wise man told us that a lot of these rich and greedy plants are going to be, rich and greedy industries, companies are going to try to get rid of the unions, they're doing it right here before our eyes, just as he said over a year and something ago. So I'm listening to a wise man. I'm thankful I did. I'm thankful I'm listening to it. I've listened and still listening to a wise man, a man of Yah, that is a watchman set over us. So now that we're on the strike, not knowing how long it's going to last, I'm looking at this and seeing where I could have been if I didn't listen to this wise man. And what I did, listening to this wise man, I got out of debt. 2013, I sold my house. I had a big house, and I sold it. I had a big loan out. I took care of that loan, paid it off. Credit cards, paid them off. I even borrowed from my 401k. And you know how wicked the 401k is. You know, they tell you it's your money, and if you borrow from it, they pull out of your check to pay it back and saying, oh, you're paying yourself back. And it doesn't matter if you don't want to pay yourself back. You have no choice. They control it. So in reality, it ain't your money. So I borrowed from my 401k, paid it off. All of my debts have been taken care of. But this man of Yah that I've been listening to, wise man, I didn't just listen to what he said. He's actually implemented the advice he gives out, and we see that it works. So how are you going to become wise? Listening to a wise man. I'm out of debt. Out of debt. Completely. And I'm not even worried about this strike. Don't know how long it's going to last. But if it does end up lasting quite some time, I'm not stuck in the trap of a mortgage. I'm not stuck in the trap of a loan. I'm not stuck in the trap of some car note. I'm not trapped under the thumb of a banker. The Proverbs tells us that a borrower is a slave to the lender. And I am not a slave to any lenders. Why? Because in this day, in this late hour, it will behoove you to listen to a wise man and receive wise counsel. Because there's no telling where I could be right now if I didn't take that advice to heart. Living simple is the way to be. Getting out of debt, getting out of the cities, getting away from this way of life that they have fooled us into thinking is the way to go. The so-called American dream. Listen to a wise man, especially you saints. Get out of debt. Get out of debt. Get from under these mortgages. Get from under the yoke of the bankers and your lenders. Oh man, this strike sucks. Listen to a wise man, folks. Listen to a wise man. Thank you, Pastor Dow. Thank you, elders, heads of fellowships. Listen to a wise man. Shalom.